Blended Podcasts. Brought to you by Blended Audio.
Hello, welcome back to Talos Talks Shit. I'm your host, Massimo Meneghetti. My co-host, Hubby, has not been with us for a while, but he's with us in spirit. We are back with another episode on immersive audio and virtual reality, and specifically immersive live music.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is why I started this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I butted in there.
No, well, chirping in over
excited.
there. That's good. I like it. It's palpable. Chirping in over there is Sean Devonport, CTO of Immersive DSP.
Hi, guys.
He's back with us.
Happy to be here.
I should actually say we are not in the Blended Podcast studios today. We are in Sean's home studio, which is pretty wild. I'm currently sitting under a giant gazebo with how many speakers around me?
It's 12.1.
12 speakers around me, and tons and tons of other toys and gear that Sean uses in all his creations. So yeah, I just want to say it's very cool to be here, man.
Oh, it's so nice to have you here, man.
Thank you.
I've known Massimo for so many years, and when I started working on this immersive audio, it was always like, you have to hear it, man. You have to hear it. And now finally he's inside of it.
Sure, yeah. After all these years, I'm finally
like
here.
4 years,
years you've been working on this, and I'm finally here to hear it. And from what I've heard, it sounds awesome.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
And after we do these podcasts, we're gonna dive into some really fun and creative stuff here. See what we can do. So thank you, Sean.
It's a pleasure.
We'll try potentially upload some stuff we do later into the podcast series, so you guys can have a listen with headphones on, like the last one, which is really cool. But really what we're here to do today is discuss this gig we had on Friday the 13th of January at Mercury Live in Cape Town. It was I'll say a rock and roll and heavy metal gig. So lots of guitars, lots of drums. I should probably
guitars.
I should probably start out by saying a huge thank you to Mercury Live and my good friend Tim Mulman, who's doing an amazing job there, running the place and making it just the best spot for live music in Cape Town. They've really also done an awesome job. He's done an awesome job, and without him, this gig would not have been possible. So thanks, Tim.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks, Tim.
it, dude. And then also to Roland. Roland really hooked us up. They came through at the 11th hour, driving through
After
floods
all the
in
other drama, dude.
Joburg.
It was a crazy weekend, and that was ESCOM week, so 2 weeks even. But that was just when the load shedding started again, crazy. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah, so
Roland
really pulled through with the V-Drums electronic
T60?
T50.
TD50.
V-Drums TD50. Seriously apologize for our terrible information keeping, but Roland V-Drums TD50. It is an amazing top of the line electric drum kit, and we'll get into that, why that was important. But really, without that and without Mercury's support and Tim's support and the support of all the guys in Dangerfields and the support of all the guys in Oh God, you did an amazing job.
And just so fantastic just to see like bands really taking on these new technologies and trying out things that are completely different, something that's never been, I think, attempted in South Africa before.
No, it hasn't been attempted in South Africa, and for probably pretty good reason. We found out. With the thank yous all out of the way, and just one more time to say, also thank you to all the guys from OGARD. You made an amazing sound design and music experience. People absolutely loved it, and it was really just a success all around. So thank you to everyone involved. And obviously, thank you to Immersive DSP and Sean, and the coming with the technical knowledge to make this possible.
Yeah, we made it happen in the end.
We made it happen in the end, and so let's break it down. So in this first episode, I'd really like to get into sort of, I want to run these two as a sort of lead up to reality, because a lot of the time when you're doing this stuff, you're working alone, you're working inside with your own stuff, you're working without other people and other noise.
Yeah.
And it's quite easy to get sort of blinders on.
Yeah, and we're talking about the sound in particular here, I think.
Yeah, we're talking about literally working in a very quiet studio with no one coming in and no huge loud guitars playing.
Ideal conditions.
And then when you take these things out to the real world, conditions are never ideal.
Yeah.
And learning to adapt, I think, is key to being successful these days, because it's so rare that plans follow through exactly as you had planned them.
Yeah.
So let's start this with the rig. So you guys have this rig. Why don't you run us through it?
Yeah. So in the previous podcast, we were talking about the 12.1 channel system, which is the same one that we're in right now, and playing that at Playtopia and having like amazing results. Everyone was super stoked. There was ambient noise there, but it wasn't on the scale of a live music event, you could say. But anyway, so we got this rig. I did some testing before we went through, and really excited to start applying these sorts of multi-speaker arrays to live music and see what we can really do with that. So in OGOD, we're keen to do it, and we started brainstorming and stuff. It sort of started, remember, as sort of like, okay, maybe we'll do like a smaller gig at the house or something.
Right, yeah.
And then eventually just started expanding, and eventually, everyone was keen, and we had full faith that these speakers would really manage to push out enough volume to allow for a completely encompassing sphere. And so we weren't going to use 12.1, which is 13 speakers. We're actually going to use 18 speakers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to...
Well, okay, so first of all, what I just want to say about that is we did think that this was going to be a much smaller thing, maybe like 30, 40 people, and it kind of ran away with us. But I think it's always important to just say that if you have these opportunities that seem bigger than something you can take on, sometimes you just got to go for it. Sometimes you just got to let it run away with you and make or break,
Yeah.
And if you put your mind to it, you'll make.
Yeah.
You'll make. You can really...
Cheers to that.
Almost anything that goes wrong, you can solve. Almost anything. And whatever curveballs is thrown at you, you have to be able to deal with them. So basically what we had was we were sitting in my little home studio and we had the speakers set up and playing around with all this beautiful immersive sound design that Dave Houston from OGOD did, and it was just wonderful. We were
playing
so
with
happy.
the rig, getting the interface like completely right.
We were so happy.
It was sounding good.
We sort of packed up on the day before the gig and we went to the club with super high hopes, and we got there and the speakers just basically were...
Oh no! I think we can lead it up a bit more. Like we set them up.
We set them up,
and we set up. How many did we set? We set up 2 and 3 sets. We set up 12.
So we set up 12.
So we set up 12 speakers
with a sphere above the head. Where we first set it up.
Yeah. So we had the vertical.
And this now, sorry to butt in, just to let people know, this is now inside a club on the dance floor. So what we were trying to do is the band was playing on stage, and then we were trying to create an immersive environment on the dance floor.
Yeah.
So we sort of created a dome for people to stand in and listen to the music, and it sounded awesome when we set it up.
Yeah, I remember we set it up and it was just us in there, and we were like throwing sounds around, everything. The imaging was like absolutely incredible. Actually, I was blown away by how good the imaging actually was.
Me too. Yeah.
And then we turned on the aircon.
Not even the sound system, just the aircon.
It was just the aircon. And then suddenly it occurred to us that while the imaging was fantastic and, we were really loving what was happening, we were playing different sounds, different things, the aircon just sort of drowned out all those sounds. Yeah. And this is largely due to the fact of the size of the loudspeakers. And that was likely a good... I've been working with these speakers for ages, but I've been using them in different sorts of environments. We're more like museum-based, installation-based.
Smaller environments
smaller,
as well.
And less ambient noise. People are there to like witness the art and really experience it.
Right.
Not being in a Mercury club where like people are trying to keep cool and stuff like that. So, I was really confident. I filled up rooms, like 3 rooms with these speakers, and it's filled up the space really nicely, but without the sorts of things like aircon. After setting them up there and hearing the aircon,
just turned on the aircon and
it just occurred to us that it would be we wouldn't have enough volume.
Well, totally drowned it out. And now, before we carry on, I just want to say this is a very important lesson for us, because we planned this gig incredibly well. We thought about absolutely everything,
technology-wise, like software interaction-wise.
Yeah, we planned how the bands were going to go. We really tried to plan it well,
and we did.
We did. And I think that's why we were eventually able to pull it off. But we neglected. We didn't neglect. We just kind of let our hope get carried away with us that the most important thing was going to be okay. Because, we didn't really want to stress out about that first at the beginning, So we were just kind of like, no, it's going to work. It's going to work. Yeah. We just kept telling ourselves,
it's going to be loud enough.
It's going to work. And you shouldn't do that. Yeah. You should definitely not do that. You should definitely
go run some tests.
Run some tests.
Like way before even... I suppose it was just that timeline, you know what I mean? It was like, this is going to happen. And it started off small, and then we were like, cool, no Mercury, it'll handle it, we'll do it. And I did measurements and everything, and the SPL looked loud enough, but at certain frequencies. And I think we just, I definitely underestimated what the space would be like. But that being said, I think we still made something happen. And thanks to, Tim and everyone for hooking up larger speakers. Yeah. Which is essentially... We had to hack together a whole system in about a morning.
Yeah, so this is going to actually break down into one episode, I think.
Oh, right, sorry.
No, that's fine, actually. We would rather keep things concise than ramble, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, we ended up on Thursday night with a gig happening the next day with pre-sale tickets sold and a hell of a lot of interest. And we didn't have any sort of immersive... anything.
There was immersive, but it was soft.
It was the softest immersion ever.
There was ideas kind of being thrown like, let's set up bean bags.
Yeah.
I was pretty keen for that idea. I think that still would have been cool. But set up some bean bags and then have people lie down and sit there and chill out and listen to the music with the band playing sort of more of an acoustic type of set. Yeah. And ESCOM would have been on our side.
Yeah. There was supposed to be load shedding, but there wasn't.
Which was a good thing. Yeah. And so there were lots of ideas being thrown around. We tried to stack speakers together to try and make it just push out enough volume, and it just wasn't cutting it here. So I think with that night, I think at around 11 o'clock or something, we were all like, okay, no, we have to make a decision, what's happening. Yeah. So we all kind of teamed up and decided, okay, no, let's go for it. We can organize other speakers. We can make the immersive happen.
We pulled some serious connections. Thanks to all the unnamed people who lent us speakers.
Yes, yeah.
You really made it possible. Actually, Soundcast Studios, Giovanni Sochi, I can give a big shout out to you. He's a good friend of mine. You made that very possible. Kill City Blues also. Thank you. Amazing rehearsal space.
And On Class.
And On Class. Yeah.
Some of those speakers didn't actually work.
Well, all of those speakers worked because On Class is a wonderful...
No, they are.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, some of the speakers didn't work, unfortunately.
But that's fine.
And that's just life.
That's just life, yeah.
That's just life, and that's live music. So we...
So what, do you want to go into the technical?
Well, first we should say that, and I'm sorry to say this, Sean, but I think it's important. Sean didn't want to do it. Sean phoned me on Friday morning and he's like, no man, I think we just need to cancel. This is a big showcase for his company and we just don't know what we're going to do here. And
it was more about I don't know. I wanted to really show people what it's going to be like, you know. And when we couldn't get the full 360 sphere of sound, and there were, you know, lots of ideas, it was like sort of like no one's really going to know the difference or anything. But I guess when you sort of understand what you want it to be, and then that doesn't get to that point,
it's very disheartening.
Yeah, it's
very disheartening, and if
it's like new technology that you want to show, you want it to be the technology that you're showing.
And it's your technology, like literally your technology. You developed a lot of this stuff and you've made a lot of this stuff possible. So it's a very personal involvement for you in that. So I can understand that, but we had to sort of pull him out. And
thanks to everyone who did. I think, everyone that we spoke to, and especially Tim, was like, nope. You guys are
didn't really present us an option of not putting on the gig, which was a great thing.
Absolutely fantastic, man. Really, I can't thank you enough. And that's, I think, what goes to show a team that are like in it together, and to see it to the end is like the most important thing with anything.
Yeah, man,
to
like
be able
true
to,
team support, you know?
Yeah, and to actually, like, as a team, be able to adapt to each other's opinions and things. Cause
absolutely.
If I was a cutthroat CEO, I'd be like,
no, not doing this. It's unprofessional.
But we made it happen, and I can't believe the system we hacked together actually worked really well.
So yeah, from 18 speakers, we went down to 6. We lost all our ability to do anything above the head.
Yeah.
But what we were able to do is we were able to hack the Emogo system.
Yeah, so we took ideas and pieces from the Emogo Live system, which is the new one that we've been working on. And we just, instead of using our speaker endpoint renderers, so another problem with that was that we didn't have the boxes, we only had the speakers. So we have breakout boxes that break out to speakers.
Right.
And then that was one of the limitations. So instead of using that, essentially, we just hacked together what Emogo would be into like a software renderer, like something that just runs on the computer.
Right.
And we controlled it still with the same sort of interface.
Right. So we basically...
that's what we did.
We had 3 zones, as you say.
Yeah.
Each one, we had forward, backwards, left and right.
Yeah.
And what would you call it? Center to expand.
Yeah, it was dispersion.
Dispersion. So like keeping something really close in the center, or expanding it all around the...
Yeah, to all the speakers. So dispersing it to everything.
Yeah.
This is good.
It was very good. It was very good. And we really like pushed ourselves to get these things set up, and it was one of those things where we were pushing so hard that when the music started, we didn't know if it was going to work. We kind of knew it was going to work.
We mixed it after we calibrated the speakers. We got them loud enough, and everything was cool. There were points when we were like, "Oh, these aren't going to even be loud enough."
Yeah.
Or they're too tinny or something. Remember, they were getting that low end,
that high end.
Yeah, the low cuts kind of.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I think as soon as everyone was in there and the bands were playing and sounds were being thrown around the space and the guitar was like moving around, we had some people that were a little bit confused, a little bit skeptical, but that's par for the course, I suppose. Yeah, I think there's always going to be people that like want to hate on something, or the speaker's going in and out, it's going in and out. But the thing is, they're not standing in the center, they're standing right by the speaker. Yeah. So the whole idea of these algorithms is to try simulate those sounds, moving around the space. So of course, certain speakers will become softer and louder. Yeah, absolutely. As sounds get panned around.
Absolutely.
But so if you're right by the speaker, you will experience that. But there are algorithms to get around that, but we need many speakers.
So this is also a thing we learned, is that in a museum or so one of those controlled environments, people are much more likely going to be in the place you want them to be in.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas in a live environment, inverted commas, the real world, people aren't going to be there.
Yeah,
they're going to do what you want them to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to. That will be one thing we work on quite hard on the next gig, which is probably coming up in December 2020.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is going to be way bigger. We're not gonna make the same mistakes. We're definitely gonna have that.
Have backups.
That above the head field, but we'll tell you more about that as it gets planned out.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of it, we were able to create a really fun experience, which is important.
Yeah.
I think everyone there had fun. It was really well attended. The bands enjoyed it.
And the cool thing is that we actually recorded in 360 on 2 different cameras, 360 cameras. And now the other really cool thing is that using sort of ambisonics and these sorts of cool immersive audio algorithms, we've been able to like encode the spatialness of
what it was
those
like,
speakers, what those speakers were
there
actually
in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
So this is,
and that's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. This is something we're working on now. So if you follow the Immersive DSP page on Facebook and Instagram,
yeah,
in some time, because this is also really cutting edge tech, so cutting edge, in fact, we are struggling to process it and handle it on our computers, which are pretty capable machines.
Yeah, no, so some of these files for the 360 video are about from the Pro 2, the Instacam Pro 2.
Yeah, we use the Instacam Pro 2.
Thanks to Paul Fisher for lending us that from Blackbird Productions. You really are an amazing person. But we got to capture this, and the size of those files was like, what was it, like 800 gigs, 300 gigs, I think, for about an hour and a half or something.
Of recording.
So imagine loading that up into your computer with the RAM needed. I don't know if any of you guys seen the new Macs, but
that's what we need.
That's what we're aiming for. So if anyone wants to send one down to Blended.
To blended audio.
Just lend it, like we can borrow it for a little while.
Tim Cook, if you're listening, please send me a Mac. So that is going to be out soon, and pretty much when that comes out, it's going to be one of the first videos of its kind, I think. Yeah,
I think there have been other sorts of 360 music videos and stuff like that, but I haven't seen one that they encode
it's live.
Yeah, no, I've seen ones that are like live, but they've like recorded the audio with field recorders, you know what I mean?
Okay.
There's no sort of post, and we're quite lucky because the way that we devised the system was that we were able to get a clean feed from the actual mixing desk of the instruments.
Yeah, so again, thank you, Roland, because we got very clean, very well recorded samples of everything. So,
and through doing that, we were able to capture the sounds of both the clean audio and the spatialized audio from the actual rendering system. We recorded a little bit of live with the camera, but I don't know if we're actually going to end up using that
audio. Yeah, look, we pulled off a lot.
Yeah, I was impressed.
We really pulled off a lot at that gig, and please do follow us on Instagram and Facebook and all other social media, because I think those videos are going to come out amazing.
Yeah, I'm really keen for it. We have a good video editor that's keen to work on it, and he's getting a beast machine soon, so we think he'll be up to the challenge of stitching this stuff together. Yeah. But we actually need to get the files from Paul.
From Paul still.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was our little quick run through of a sort of failure to success story, and we hope it was interesting. Very interesting for us, very high stakes for us.
Yeah.
And we hope you guys can take some lessons from that and apply it to whatever cool thing you're starting.
Yeah, exactly. Startups for life, dude.
Startups for life.
There's nothing better than making mistakes and figuring out how to fix those mistakes.
And collaborative effort, guys.
Collaborative effort.
That was another incredibly important thing from this. Is just
amazing team.
Collaboration, listening to people, as Sean said, taking other people's opinion under, just really listening to it and not being closed off to it.
Yeah.
Just working with people that are amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Take your skills together, bring them together.
Yeah. So that's it for this podcast. At the end of the last episode, I forgot to say all my thank yous. So I want to thank, first of all, Blended Podcast for hosting us, pulling this off, doing all the behind the scenes work that makes this such a great podcast series. I want to thank Mr. Mafiana on the intro beat, on the beats and on the outro beat. He has an awesome crew, an awesome live event company called Selective Hearing.
Yeah, check it out.
They do some really, really cool gigs. Love the work, dude. So please check out their Facebook pages, Instagram, all of that. And thanks again to Immersive DSP and Sean Davenport for taking the time to be with us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. Definitely, anytime.
We will certainly have you back on soon.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing what happens.
We should do some more audio examples and stuff, I think.
Yes, maybe
some of the stuff from the OGOD gig. would be
maybe
super fun.
Yeah, we can maybe release just a podcast of original music from the gig.
Bring it in and talk about what was. Maybe we can bring Dave in and actually
talk about
the sound design, what was going through his mind.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I will present that on social media and see what the people say.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Yeah, I love audio examples.
Yeah,
I love talking about it, but I way prefer just listening.
We have to show people for this. So keep tuning in. You may hear some amazing, groundbreaking shit. Thank you so much. This has been Talos Talks Shit.